Lisa hadn't smiled in 3 years. Not really. Sure, she'd learned to curve her lips at the right moments, usually when a coworker cracked a joke or when her mom called to check on her. But those weren't real smiles. They were masks she wore to convince everyone, including herself, that she was okay. The truth was far different. Every evening, she'd come home to her small apartment, kick off her shoes, and feel the weight of loneliness settle over her like a heavy blanket. The silence was the worst part. It gave her too much time to think, too much space to remember everything that had gone wrong. 3 years ago, Lisa had walked away from her marriage to Robert. On paper, he'd seemed perfect, charming, successful, the kind of man her family instantly loved. But behind closed doors, he was different. He never hit her, nothing like that. Instead, he did something worse. He chipped away at her confidence one comment at a time. "You're too emotional," he'd say when she tried to express her feelings. "Why do you always have to make things so complicated?" When she'd suggest going out with friends, he'd sigh and say, "I guess I'm not enough for you." When she got excited about a project at work, he'd nod absently and change the subject. Slowly, quietly, he made her feel like everything about her was wrong. By the time she left, Lisa barely recognized herself. The woman who once laughed easily and dreamed big had shrunk into someone who second-guessed every word, every choice, every feeling. Her therapist called it emotional abuse. Lisa just called it her life for 7 long years. Now sitting in her apartment with the TV playing shows she wasn't really watching, Lisa wondered if this was all there was left. She'd built a decent life, technically speaking. Her job as a graphic designer paid the bills. Her apartment was nice enough. She had a cat named Pepper who kept her company. But something vital was missing. She felt like a person going through the motions of living without actually being alive. Her younger sister Jenny kept trying to pull her back into the world. "Come out with us," she'd text. "Just one girls' night. It'll be fun." Lisa always had an excuse ready. Work was busy. She wasn't feeling well. Maybe next time. The truth was simpler and sadder. She didn't know how to be around happy people anymore. Their laughter felt like it came from a different universe, one she no longer had access to. The worst moments came late at night. That's when the thoughts would creep in. The ones she tried to avoid during daylight hours. What if Robert was right? What if she really was too much, too sensitive, too broken? What if she'd wasted her best years and this emptiness was all that remained? What if she never felt whole again? Her therapist, Dr. Martinez, kept telling her that healing took time. "You're not broken," she'd say during their weekly sessions. "You survived something designed to break you. That takes incredible strength." Lisa wanted to believe her, but belief required hope, and hope felt dangerous. Hope meant risking disappointment again. Lisa had learned to protect herself by feeling nothing. Numbness was safer than pain. If she didn't let herself want things, she couldn't be hurt when they didn't happen. If she didn't let people in, they couldn't tear her down. It was a lonely way to live, but at least it was predictable. Work became her refuge. She could lose herself in colors and designs, in solving problems that had clear solutions. Her boss praised her work. Clients sent thank you emails. In those moments, she felt capable, valued. But the feeling never lasted. As soon as she closed her laptop, the emptiness rushed back in. She stopped looking in mirrors more than necessary. The woman staring back at her looked tired, older than her 32 years. Her eyes, once bright and curious, had gone dull. She'd cut her hair short after the divorce, wanting to look different, to be different. But changing her outside hadn't changed what she felt inside. Jenny wouldn't give up on her, though. 2 weeks ago, she'd called with a request. "Please, Lisa, I need help with the school fundraiser. You're so talented with design stuff. It's just a few posters and some social media graphics. You don't even have to come to the actual event if you don't want to." Lisa almost said no. She'd gotten good at saying no. But something in her sister's voice stopped her. Jenny taught 2nd grade and loved those kids fiercely. This fundraiser mattered to her. And honestly, what else was Lisa going to do? Sit home and watch another evening disappear into nothing? "Okay," she heard herself say. "I'll help." Jenny's squeal of excitement made her smile, just a tiny bit. Maybe Dr. Martinez was right. Maybe small steps counted for something. Still, as the days passed and the meeting at the school approached, Lisa felt her anxiety building. She'd have to interact with people, make small talk, pretend to be normal. The thought exhausted her. She practiced conversations in her head, prepared responses to common questions. Yes, she was doing well. No, she wasn't seeing anyone. Work was keeping her busy, all the safe surface-level answers that didn't reveal the truth. The night before the meeting, Lisa stood in her closet trying to decide what to wear. Everything felt wrong. Too bright, too dull, too professional, too casual. Finally, she grabbed jeans and a simple sweater. Good enough. No one would really notice her anyway. She'd learned to blend into backgrounds, to take up as little space as possible. She barely slept that night. Old worries mixed with new ones. What if she said something stupid? What if people asked about her personal life? What if someone from her past was there? By morning, she'd convinced herself to cancel. She reached for her phone to text Jenny an excuse, but stopped. No, she'd promised. She could do this one thing. The rain started as she gathered her things. Of course it did. Lisa grabbed her umbrella, her portfolio, and the large coffee she'd need to get through this. Her hands shook slightly as she started her car. Just a few hours, she told herself. Design some posters, smile politely, go home. She could manage that. As she drove through the wet streets toward Riverside Elementary, Lisa had no idea that her carefully controlled world was about to tilt on its axis. She didn't know that in less than an hour she'd collide with someone who would remind her what it felt like to be seen. Not fixed, not saved, but simply seen. All she knew was that she was tired. Tired of being afraid, tired of being numb, tired of living in the shadow of what Robert had done to her. But tired wasn't the same as giving up. Somewhere deep inside, beneath all the hurt and fear, a tiny part of Lisa still wondered if maybe, just maybe, there was more to life than surviving. She pulled into the school parking lot, took a deep breath, and stepped out into the rain. She didn't know it yet, but this ordinary Tuesday morning was about to become the beginning of something extraordinary. The rain came down harder as Lisa juggled her umbrella, portfolio case, and coffee cup. She should have made 2 trips from the car, but she hated being inefficient. 3 years of living alone had taught her to handle everything by herself. She didn't need help. Couldn't rely on it anyway. The elementary school's front entrance had that familiar smell of floor wax and crayons. It brought back memories of her own childhood, back when the world felt safe and full of possibilities. Back before she learned that people could smile at you while slowly taking pieces of your soul. She was 5 steps inside, shaking rain from her umbrella, when it happened. Someone rushed through the door behind her, moving fast, and suddenly they were colliding. Her portfolio flew one direction, papers scattering across the wet floor. Her coffee, thankfully with a lid, skittered across the tile. Her umbrella clattered down. "Oh no, I'm so sorry." The voice was male, genuinely distressed. "I wasn't looking where I was going." Lisa bent down quickly, her face burning. Of course this would happen. Of course her first 5 minutes here would be a disaster. She grabbed at papers, not looking up, wanting to disappear. "Here, let me help." The man was gathering papers too, faster than her, apologizing over and over. A small voice piped up beside him. "Daddy, you really need to watch where you're walking." That made Lisa glance up. The man was maybe late 30s, wearing jeans and a button-down shirt that had seen better days. His dark hair stuck up in the back like he'd forgotten to check a mirror. But it was his eyes that caught her attention. They were kind, genuinely apologetic, not annoyed, not impatient. Just sorry for the mess he'd caused. Beside him stood a little girl, maybe 7 or 8, with pigtails and a backpack covered in sparkly stars. She looked up at her dad with the patient expression of someone who'd seen this before. "I'm really sorry," the man said again, handing Lisa a stack of papers. "I'm late getting Mia her lunch and I was rushing and I just didn't see you." "It's okay," Lisa managed, taking the papers. Her heart was pounding, but not entirely from the collision. Something about this man's complete lack of pretense threw her off balance. He wasn't trying to be smooth or charming. He was just genuinely embarrassed. "Is your coffee okay?" He picked up the cup, checking it. Oh good, the lid stayed on. Small miracle there. Mia tugged on her dad's sleeve. "Daddy, I'm going to be late for circle time." "Right, yes, sorry, sweetie." He handed Lisa her coffee, then grabbed the lunchbox he'd dropped. "Again, I'm so sorry. I'm Tom, by the way. Tom Fletcher. And this is my daughter Mia, Lisa." She didn't know why she offered her name. She usually kept interactions minimal. "Hi, Lisa." Mia waved enthusiastically. "I like your sweater. Purple's my second favorite color after rainbow." Despite everything, Lisa felt her lips twitch. Rainbow's a good choice. Tom was still picking up papers. Are these all in the right order? I might have mixed them up. It's fine, really. Lisa took the last few sheets from him. I can sort them. Well, I feel terrible. Tom ran his hand through his hair, making it stick up even more. Can I at least buy you a replacement coffee? There's a machine in the teacher's lounge. It's not great, but it's hot. Lisa's first instinct was to say no, to take her papers and escape to wherever Jenny was waiting. But something stopped her. Maybe it was Mia's friendly smile. Maybe it was Tom's complete lack of the polished charm that always set her on edge. Maybe it was just that she was tired of always saying no. Okay, she heard herself say. Tom looked surprised, then pleased. Great. Mia, I'll walk you to class first. The three of them walked down the hallway, Mia chattering about her day. She had a loose tooth, and they were learning about butterflies, and her friend Zoe had brought in cookies yesterday. Tom listened like everything she said was fascinating, asking questions, laughing at her stories. Lisa found herself relaxing slightly. This wasn't what she'd expected. Tom wasn't trying to impress her or fill silence with meaningless words. He was just focused on his daughter, making sure she felt heard. After dropping Mia at her classroom with a kiss on the forehead and a reminder to have a good day, Tom led Lisa toward the teacher's lounge. Fair warning, he said. This coffee tastes like someone melted crayons in water. But it's warm. I've had worse. Lisa actually meant it. The lounge was empty, everyone already in classrooms. Tom fed quarters into the machine and pressed buttons, producing 2 cups of coffee that looked exactly as bad as advertised. They sat at a small table by the window overlooking the playground. So you're helping with the fundraiser? Tom asked. I think I saw your name on the volunteer list. Jennifer's sister, right? Yeah, Jenny teaches 2nd grade. You know her? Mia's in her class. Your sister's amazing. Mia talks about her constantly. Miss Jenny this, Miss Jenny that. Tom smiled fondly. Last week Jenny stayed late to help Mia with a reading project. Didn't have to, but she did. That's Jenny, Lisa said softly. Her sister had always been like that, going above and beyond for everyone. What about you? What do you do? Tom took a sip of coffee and grimaced. Wow, that's even worse than last time. Graphic design. Jenny asked me to help with posters and stuff for the fundraiser. Lisa wrapped her hands around her cup, absorbing the warmth. I mostly work from home, so this is my big social outing for the week. She'd meant it as a joke, but it came out sadder than intended. Tom didn't comment on it, though. He just nodded. I get that. It's hard sometimes dealing with people. I'm a software developer, so I spend most of my day talking to computers. Much easier than humans. Computers don't have feelings I can accidentally hurt. Lisa found herself almost smiling. Yeah, pixels don't judge you. They sat in comfortable silence for a moment. Outside, the rain continued its steady drumming against the windows. Lisa realized with surprise that she didn't feel the usual pressure to fill the quiet with words. Tom seemed perfectly content just sitting there, drinking terrible coffee. Can I ask you something? Tom said finally. And feel free to tell me it's none of my business. Lisa tensed slightly. Here it came. The questions about her personal life, her relationship status, all the things she hated answering. Do you really think you can make this fundraiser interesting? Tom grinned. Because last year's posters looked like they were made in 1987. I'm talking clip art of cats wearing graduation caps for some reason. Nobody understood it, Lisa laughed. Actually laughed. It surprised her so much she almost spilled her coffee. I promise no graduation cats. Thank goodness. Tom leaned back in his chair. Mia made me promise to help coach the soccer team for the fundraiser games. I know nothing about soccer. This should be entertaining. You said yes anyway? She asked me with those big eyes of hers. I'm powerless. Tom shrugged, but there was so much love in his expression. Besides, I figure I can't mess it up too badly. The kids are 7. They mostly just chase the ball in a pack anyway. Over the next 20 minutes, Lisa learned that Tom had moved to town 2 years ago for a fresh start. His wife had died when Mia was 3. Something about cancer that he mentioned briefly before changing the subject. He was clearly devoted to his daughter, structuring his entire life around her needs and schedule. Single parenting is just constant improvisation, he said, like this morning. Mia reminded me about the lunch literally as we were walking out the door. So I threw together a sandwich that was basically just bread and hope. Does she like peanut butter? Lisa found herself asking, loves it, why? Because bread and peanut butter is actually a complete meal nutritionally. Add some banana and you're basically parent of the year. Tom brightened. Really? Because I've been feeling guilty about these lunches. Sometimes it's just crackers and cheese and an apple. That's fine. Kids need simple foods anyway. Lisa didn't know why she was reassuring him. She didn't know anything about parenting. But Tom looked so genuinely worried about getting it right. You're very easy to talk to, Tom said suddenly. I feel like I've been babbling. You haven't, Lisa said and meant it. For the first time in years, a conversation didn't feel like work. Tom wasn't performing or testing her. He was just being himself, flaws and all. Her phone buzzed. Jenny texting to ask where she was. Lisa stood reluctantly. I should go find my sister. Right, yes, and I should probably get to work. Tom stood too. Thanks for not being mad about the collision. And for the parenting reassurance. And for listening to me ramble. Thanks for the coffee. Lisa gestured at the terrible beverage. Even if it tastes like regret. Tom laughed, a genuine sound that reached his eyes. Well, maybe I'll see you around. I'm here most days for pickup. And I'll be at the fundraiser planning meetings. Maybe, Lisa said noncommittally. But as she walked away, she realized something strange. She kind of hoped she would see him again. Not in a romantic way, nothing like that. She wasn't ready for that, might never be ready. But Tom was safe somehow. Real. He wasn't trying to be anything other than who he was. She found Jenny in the art room setting up supplies for the day. Her sister took one look at her and smiled. You look different. I got caught in the rain and spilled papers everywhere. No, that's not it. Jenny studied her. You look lighter somehow. Did something happen? Lisa thought about Tom and Mia, about terrible coffee and honest conversations. I met someone who collided with me, literally. Jenny's eyes lit up. Tell me everything. There's nothing to tell. He's just a dad picking up his daughter. We talked for like 20 minutes, but even as she said it, Lisa knew it wasn't nothing. Something had shifted, barely noticeable, like the first crack in ice before spring. She wasn't healed. She wasn't suddenly happy. But for the first time in 3 years, she'd had a normal conversation with someone and it hadn't felt like torture. Maybe that was enough for now. Maybe that was actually a lot. Lisa didn't expect to see Tom again so soon. She figured their coffee chat was a one-time thing, a pleasant accident that wouldn't repeat. But 3 days later, she was back at the school for the fundraiser planning meeting. And there he was, sitting at a table with a notepad and looking mildly panicked. Oh, thank goodness, he said when he spotted her. Someone I actually know. Everyone else here seems very organized, and I'm just trying to understand why we need a bake sale, and a fun run and a silent auction. Isn't that a lot? Lisa sat down beside him. Welcome to school fundraising. They go big. Mia's going to want to do everything, Tom muttered, writing something down. Which means I'm going to be baking cookies I'll probably burn and running a 5K I'm not prepared for. You don't have to do everything. Have you met 7-year-olds? They have very strong opinions about what their parents should do. But he was smiling as he said it. The meeting was long and detailed. Lisa volunteered to design all the promotional materials, which everyone seemed thrilled about. Tom got roped into coaching not just soccer, but also helping with the fun run. When he tried to explain he wasn't a runner, Jenny just laughed and said, "You'll learn." After the meeting, Tom walked Lisa to her car. The rain had finally stopped, leaving everything smelling fresh and clean. So I have a weird question, Tom said, shoving his hands in his pockets. Mia has a soccer game Saturday morning. Would you want to come? I could use moral support for my first time coaching. And honestly, the team could use someone who knows about design to help with their banner. It's currently just a bedsheet with marker on it. Lisa's instinct was to say no. Weekends were her safe time, her alone time. But Tom wasn't pushing. He was just asking, and something about his hopeful expression made her pause. What time? She heard herself say. His face lit up. Really, that's great. 9 o'clock at Morrison Park. Fair warning, it's going to be chaotic. But there's usually good coffee from the snack stand. Saturday morning arrived gray and cool. Lisa almost talked herself out of going 3 different times. But she'd said yes, and backing out felt wrong. So she put on jeans and a jacket, grabbed her travel mug of coffee, and drove to Morrison Park. The soccer field was exactly as chaotic as promised. Children in oversized jerseys ran in every direction. Parents sat in camping chairs, clutching coffee and looking tired. Tom stood near the sideline with a clipboard, looking completely overwhelmed while Mia and her teammates swarmed around him. Lisa, Mia spotted her first, breaking away from the pack to run over. You came. Did you come to see me play? I'm really good at kicking. I heard you're the best kicker, Lisa said, crouching down to Mia's level without thinking about it. Well, Zoe's pretty good too, but I'm faster. Mia grabbed her hand. Come meet everyone. Before Lisa could protest, she was being dragged toward the team. Tom looked up, relief flooding his face. Oh good, reinforcements. I have 7 children who all need to use the bathroom right now and the game starts in 10 minutes. Welcome to coaching, another parent said, laughing. First time? That obvious? Tom asked. Lisa ended up helping corral kids to the bathroom, retying shoelaces that had come undone, and listening to a long story from a little boy named Ryan about his pet hamster. It should have been overwhelming, but somehow it wasn't. The kids were so genuine, so completely themselves. They didn't judge or analyze. They just accepted her presence and kept talking. The game itself was adorable chaos. Tom paced the sideline, shouting encouragement that was probably too nice. Great try, he'd yell when someone missed the ball completely. Beautiful effort. When someone kicked it the wrong direction. The opposing team's coach was much more serious, actually using strategy and formations. Tom just let the kids have fun. Mia scored a goal in the second half, and the pure joy on her face made Lisa's chest tight. The little girl ran straight to the sideline and hugged her dad, not caring that the game was still happening. Did you see? Did you see? Mia was practically vibrating with excitement. I saw. That was amazing. Tom lifted her up and spun her around before setting her back down. Now get back out there, superstar. After the game, which they lost 3-2, but nobody seemed to care, Tom bought everyone juice boxes. The kids scattered to play on the nearby playground while the parents packed up. Lisa found herself standing with Tom watching Mia climb the monkey bars. That was exhausting, Tom said. How do people do this every weekend? You seemed like a natural. I just made sure nobody got hurt and everyone felt good about themselves. That's parenting in a nutshell. Tom took a sip of his coffee. Thanks for coming. It really helped having someone here who doesn't think I'm completely incompetent. You're not incompetent. You're just learning. Story of my life since becoming a single dad. Tom watched Mia, his expression soft. I keep waiting to feel like I know what I'm doing. 4 years in, still waiting. Lisa wanted to say something comforting, but Mia came running back before she could. Lisa, do you want to come to our house for pancakes? We make pancakes every Sunday, and today's basically Sunday because tomorrow's actually Sunday. But we're doing pancakes today because we have a soccer game tomorrow too. Tom looked embarrassed. Mia, you can't just invite people over like that. Why not? You said we should make more friends. Yes, but... Tom looked at Lisa apologetically. You don't have to. She gets excited and forgets about boundaries. Lisa should say no. This was moving into friendship territory, into regular interaction. That meant risk. That meant vulnerability. But Mia was looking at her with such hope, and Tom seemed like he genuinely wouldn't mind. And Lisa was tired of always protecting herself. Okay, she said, but I'm not good at making pancakes. That's okay. Mia grabbed her hand again. Daddy burns them sometimes anyway. Tom's house was small and lived in. Toys scattered across the living room. Artwork covered the fridge. Dishes in the sink suggested breakfast had been rushed that morning. It was nothing like the sterile perfection Robert had always demanded. Their house had been a showpiece, not a home. This place was actually lived in. Sorry about the mess, Tom said, moving a pile of laundry off the couch. We're still working on the whole organization thing. It's fine. And it was. The mess felt honest, real. Mia insisted Lisa help her make the pancake batter while Tom got out the griddle. The little girl narrated every step, her enthusiasm infectious. Lisa found herself actually enjoying the process, even when flour somehow ended up on her shirt. Now we have to make special shapes, Mia announced. What shape do you want, Lisa? A circle? Mia looked disappointed. That's boring. Daddy makes me heart shapes and stars and flowers. One time he made a dinosaur, but it looked more like a blob. It was my first dinosaur, Tom defended himself. And you ate it anyway. They ended up with pancakes in various questionable shapes. Tom's star looked more like a lumpy pentagon. Lisa's attempt at a flower looked like an explosion. Mia's hearts were actually pretty good. They ate them with too much syrup and laughed at how bad they all were at pancake art. This is nice, Mia said through a mouthful of pancake. It's like having a family breakfast. Usually it's just me and Daddy. Tom's eyes met Lisa's, both of them feeling the weight of that innocent statement. He didn't try to correct her or make it less awkward. He just gave Lisa a small, understanding smile. After breakfast, Mia wanted to show Lisa her room. It was an explosion of color, stuffed animals everywhere, drawings taped to the walls. On her nightstand sat a framed photo of a woman with Mia's eyes and Tom's smile. "That's my mom," Mia said matter-of-factly. "She died when I was little. I don't remember her much, but Daddy says she would have liked me." "I'm sure she would have loved you," Lisa said softly. "Daddy says she watches from heaven. I think she sent you to us because Daddy needs more friends. He gets lonely sometimes even though he pretends he doesn't." The simple honesty of it took Lisa's breath away. This 7-year-old saw more than most adults. Lisa ended up staying for 2 more hours. They watched a movie, Mia curled between her and Tom on the couch. They played a board game that made no sense, but Mia loved. They made grilled cheese for lunch. It was all so normal, so comfortable. When Lisa finally said she should go, Mia hugged her tight. "You'll come back, right? You're our friend now." "Mia, let her breathe," Tom said gently, but Lisa surprised herself. "Yeah, I'll come back." Driving home, Lisa felt something strange in her chest. It took her a moment to recognize it. It was lightness. Not happiness exactly, not yet. But the absence of the constant heavy weight she'd carried for 3 years. Tom and Mia hadn't tried to fix her or save her. They just included her, welcomed her, let her be part of their imperfect little world. That evening, instead of sitting in silence, Lisa texted Jenny. "Had pancakes with Tom and Mia today." "It was nice." Jenny's response was immediate. "OMG, tell me everything." Lisa smiled at her phone. Then she started typing. Actually wanting to share, actually having something to share. It was a small thing, but it felt huge. She was re-entering the world, one pancake at a time. And for the first time since leaving Robert, that didn't feel terrifying. It felt like breathing again. Over the next 6 weeks, Lisa became a regular part of Tom and Mia's world. She helped with fundraiser planning, attended soccer games, and somehow got roped into Sunday pancake tradition. It happened so gradually she didn't notice at first. A text from Tom asking if she wanted coffee. Mia calling to tell her about a project at school. An invitation to help pick out new shoes because Mia insisted she needed Lisa's opinion. The scary part wasn't how often she saw them. It was how much she looked forward to it. Lisa would catch herself smiling at her phone when Tom sent a photo of another pancake disaster. She'd think about Mia's latest story during her workday. She'd plan her weekends around their time together. And then the panic would set in. This was how it started before. With Robert, she'd felt special, chosen. He'd made her feel like the center of his world. Until slowly, gradually, that attention became control. What if she was making the same mistake? What if her judgment was still broken? What if she was reading everything wrong again? Her therapist noticed the change immediately. "You seem different today," Dr. Martinez said during their session. More animated. Lisa told her about Tom and Mia, about the pancakes and soccer games and easy conversations. About how comfortable she felt, how natural it all seemed. "And that scares you," Dr. Martinez said gently. "Of course it does." Lisa twisted her hands in her lap. "What if I'm not seeing clearly? I didn't see who Robert really was for years. What if I'm doing it again? Tell me about Tom. How does he make you feel about yourself?" Lisa thought about it. "Like I'm enough just as I am. He doesn't try to change me or fix me. When I'm quiet, he doesn't push. When I talk, he listens. He never makes me feel stupid or too much or not enough." "And Robert?" "Robert made me question everything about myself." The words came out bitter. Every feeling was too dramatic. Every opinion was wrong. Every boundary was unreasonable. Dr. Martinez leaned forward. "You just described 2 completely different experiences. You see that, right? But what if Tom's just good at hiding it? Robert fooled everyone, including me. Lisa, you're not the same person you were then. You've done years of work to understand what happened and recognize red flags. Trust that growth." But trusting felt impossible. Every time Lisa started to relax into happiness, her brain would shout warnings. She'd analyze every conversation with Tom, looking for hidden meanings. She'd worry that Mia was getting too attached. She'd convince herself this couldn't possibly be real. The panic attack came on a Thursday afternoon. Tom had texted asking if she wanted to grab dinner, just the 2 of them. Jenny had offered to watch Mia. It was clearly a date, not just a casual hangout. Lisa stared at her phone for 20 minutes, her chest getting tighter and tighter. She couldn't do this. She wasn't ready. She'd never be ready. What was she thinking, letting herself get close to someone? She should end this now before anyone got hurt. Before she got hurt again, her hands shook as she typed out a response. I don't think that's a good idea. Tom's reply came quickly. That's okay. No pressure. Rain check anytime? But Lisa couldn't leave it at that. The words poured out, typed too fast, fueled by fear. I think maybe I need some space. This is all moving too fast and I'm not ready for anything and I don't want to lead anyone on. Her phone rang a minute later. Tom's name on the screen. She almost didn't answer, but something made her pick up. Hey. Tom's voice was gentle. Can we talk? In person? I don't know if that's a good idea. Please. Just for a few minutes. I'll come to you. 20 minutes later, they sat in Lisa's car in a parking lot near her apartment. The sun was setting, painting everything orange and pink. Tom didn't try to sit too close or touch her. He just waited. I'm scared, Lisa finally said. I'm really scared. Of me? Of everything. Of caring about someone. Of getting it wrong again. Of being that person who can't see what's right in front of her. The words tumbled out. I was married for 7 years to someone who made me feel crazy. Who convinced me that everything I felt was wrong. And I believed him. For years I believed him. What if I'm doing that again? What if my instincts are broken? Tom was quiet for a long moment. When he spoke, his voice was thick with emotion. Can I tell you something? I'm scared too. Lisa looked at him surprised. After Rebecca died, I didn't think I'd ever want to feel anything again. The pain was so big I couldn't imagine surviving it. But I had Mia, so I had to keep going. He stared out the windshield. I built this safe little world. Just me and Mia, keeping everything controlled and predictable. And it worked. We were okay. So what changed? You. Tom met her eyes. You came into our lives and suddenly that safe little world felt lonely. Mia talks about you constantly. She's happier, more excited about things. And me? I realized I'd been holding my breath for 4 years. And when you're around, I can finally breathe again. Lisa felt tears building but fought them back. But here's the thing, Tom continued. I have Mia to think about. I can't bring someone into her life who isn't sure, who might leave. She's already lost one person she loved. I won't let her go through that again unless I know it's real. So what are you saying? I'm saying I'm falling for you, Lisa. And that terrifies me because I haven't felt this way since Rebecca. I'm saying Mia already loves you, and that's beautiful and scary at the same time. But I'm also saying I understand if you're not ready. I understand if you can't do this. Lisa wiped at her eyes, frustrated with the tears that finally escaped. I don't know if I'll ever be ready. I don't know if I'm capable of trusting someone that way again. That's okay. It is? Tom smiled sadly. Lisa, you survived something designed to break you. You got out, you rebuilt your life, you're here fighting to be healthy. That's incredible. But healing isn't linear, and it doesn't happen on anyone else's timeline. I like spending time with you and Mia, Lisa admitted, more than I've liked anything in years. But every time I'm happy, I panic. I look for what's wrong, what I'm missing, what's going to hurt me. What does your gut tell you? Not your fear, not your trauma, your gut. Lisa closed her eyes, really trying to feel beneath all the noise. My gut says you're safe, that this is different, that I can trust you. And your fear? My fear says I'm an idiot and I'm about to make the same mistake again. Tom reached over slowly, giving her time to pull away. He took her hand gently. Here's what I know. I'm not perfect. I'm messy and disorganized and I burn pancakes. I still cry sometimes over Rebecca. I'm figuring out parenting as I go and I get it wrong constantly. But I am not Robert. I will never be Robert. How do I know that? You don't, not for certain. That's the scary part of trusting anyone. Tom squeezed her hand. But I promise you this. If you give me a chance, I will never make you question your reality. I will never make you feel small or wrong or too much. I will respect your boundaries, honor your healing, and be patient with your process. What if I'm never fully healed? What if there's always going to be this broken part? Then we'll work around it. Lisa, you're not broken. You're hurt. That's different. Hurt can heal even if it leaves scars. He paused. But this only works if you want it to. I need to know you're choosing this, choosing us because you want to, not because you think you should. Lisa sat with that. Did she want this? Beneath all the fear and trauma and protection, what did she actually want? She thought about Sunday pancakes and Mia's laughter. She thought about Tom's terrible jokes and how safe she felt in his presence. She thought about how, for the first time in years, she'd felt like herself, like the person she'd been before Robert took pieces of her away. "I want to try," she whispered. "I'm terrified, but I want to try." Tom's smile was gentle, understanding. "We can go slow. As slow as you need. What about dinner?" "Dinner can just be dinner. Two friends eating food. No pressure, no expectations, and if I panic again, then you tell me and we figure it out together." Tom let go of her hand, giving her space. "The only thing I need from you is honesty. Tell me when you're scared. Tell me when you need space. Tell me if something doesn't feel right."
Can you do that?
Lisa nodded. "I can try. That's all I'm asking." They sat in comfortable silence as the sun finished setting. Lisa felt exhausted, wrung out from the emotional honesty. But beneath the exhaustion was something else. Relief. She'd told Tom the truth about her fears and he hadn't run. He hadn't tried to convince her she was wrong or being dramatic. He'd just listened and understood. "Tom," she said softly, "yeah? Thank you for not giving up on me." "Lisa, I'm not giving up on you. I'm waiting for you. There's a difference." He opened the car door. "Text me later, okay? Let me know you're all right." After he left, Lisa sat in her car for a long time. She wasn't magically healed. The fear was still there, probably always would be to some degree. But Tom had seen her at her most vulnerable, had heard her deepest fears, and he'd stayed. He'd been patient and understanding and given her exactly what she needed. Maybe that was what real love looked like. Not the overwhelming intensity that Robert had offered, but this quiet, steady presence. Not someone who saved her, but someone who walked beside her while she saved herself. Lisa drove home feeling lighter than she had in weeks. She had a long way to go, but for the first time she believed she might actually get there, and Tom and Mia would be there, not pushing or pulling, just being present. That night she texted Tom. "Dinner sounds nice, but can we go somewhere quiet? I'm not ready for crowds." His response came immediately. "I know a perfect place. Saturday at 6? Saturday at 6, she confirmed. Then she added, "I'm still scared." "Me too," he replied. "We'll figure it out together." And somehow that promise felt like enough. Lisa took 3 months to really consider what she wanted. 3 months of therapy sessions where she dug deep into her fears and patterns. 3 months of journaling late at night, trying to separate her trauma responses from her genuine feelings. 3 months of slow, careful steps forward with Tom. They went on actual dates, quiet dinners where they talked for hours, movies where Tom held her hand only after asking if it was okay, walks in the park where they could just exist together without pressure. He never pushed for more than she could give. When she needed space, he gave it. When she wanted closeness, he was there. Mia was part of it all, of course. Lisa continued coming to Sunday pancakes and soccer games. The little girl had become such a bright spot in her life. She'd tell Lisa everything, from playground drama to her theories about why clouds were shaped funny. There was no filter, no pretense, just pure, honest connection. One afternoon, Lisa sat with Dr. Martinez and finally said the words she'd been avoiding. "I'm in love with him. How does that feel?" "Terrifying, amazing, completely overwhelming." Lisa laughed a little hysterically. "I didn't think I'd ever feel this way again. Didn't think I could. What's different about Tom?" Lisa had thought about this question a lot. With Robert, I was always performing, trying to be the right version of myself, the one he'd approve of. I was constantly walking on eggshells, analyzing every word and action. With Tom, I'm just me, the messy, scared, healing version of me. And he likes that person. "He sees you," Dr. Martinez said softly. "Yeah, he really does." Lisa felt tears prick her eyes, even the broken parts. Especially the broken parts. He doesn't try to fix them or pretend they don't exist. He just accepts that they're part of my story. So what now? I think I need to tell him. Really tell him. Not just that I like spending time with him, but that I love him. That I want to try building something real. Dr. Martinez smiled. "You've come so far, Lisa. Whatever you decide, you're ready." The fundraiser was that weekend. Lisa had designed everything. Posters, banners, social media graphics, t-shirts. The school looked amazing, transformed into a carnival of color and activity. There was the fun run in the morning. A bake sale that looked dangerous but smelled delicious. The soccer tournament Tom was coaching. And a silent auction in the gymnasium. Lisa found herself running around all day, Fixing things, helping set up, making sure everything looked perfect. Jenny kept giving her knowing looks, probably because Lisa couldn't stop scanning the crowd for Tom and Mia. She found them at the soccer field. Mia's team was warming up, and Tom was giving what appeared to be a very enthusiastic pep talk. Lisa hung back, just watching. He'd grown more confident as a coach over the past months. The kids adored him because he made everything fun while still teaching them real skills. Mia spotted her and waved frantically. "Lisa, we're going to win today, I can feel it." "You're going to be amazing," Lisa called back. The game was intense. Well, as intense as 7-year-old soccer could be. "Mia scored 2 goals. Tom cheered so loudly he went hoarse. They ended up winning 3-2, and the celebration was pure joy. Kids jumping around, parents clapping, everyone grinning. After the game, while Tom dealt with team snacks and parent questions, Mia came to sit beside Lisa on the bleachers. "Lisa, can I ask you something?" "Of course." Mia swung her legs, suddenly seeming shy. "Do you like my daddy?" Like him?" Lisa's heart squeezed. "Yeah, sweetie. I do, good. Because he really likes you too. He smiles more now, and he doesn't get sad as much when he thinks I'm not looking." Mia looked up at her with those serious eyes. "I think my mom would like you. Daddy showed me pictures and told me stories about her. She liked people who were kind and funny and good at art. That's you. That's really sweet, Mia. Are you going to stay?" The question was so direct, so vulnerable. "Some of my friends have people who leave." "I don't want you to leave." Lisa pulled the little girl into a hug. "I'm not going anywhere. I promise. A pinky promise?" Lisa hooked her pinky with Mia's. "Pinky promise." That evening, after the fundraiser ended and they'd helped clean up, Tom invited Lisa over. Jenny had offered to take Mia for a sleepover, giving them the evening alone. Lisa knew this was it. Time to be brave. They ordered pizza and sat on Tom's couch, the house quiet without Mia's constant energy. It felt strange and intimate at the same time. "The fundraiser was amazing," Tom said. "Your designs were perfect. We raised almost double what we did last year. It was a team effort. Stop being modest. You made it special." Tom turned to face her. "You make everything special." Lisa took a deep breath. "Tom, I need to tell you something." His expression shifted to concern. "Okay, I'm in love with you." The words tumbled out, not elegant but true. "I've been in love with you for weeks now, maybe longer. And it terrifies me because I didn't think I could feel this way again. I thought Robert broke that part of me. But you and Mia, you showed me that I'm not broken. I'm just healing." Tom's eyes were shining. "Lisa, wait, let me finish." She needed to say it all. "I know I've been slow. I know I've been scared and pulled away and probably driven you crazy with my mixed signals. But I'm done running. I'm done letting fear control my life. I want this. I want us. If you still want me." "Still want you?" Tom laughed, a little choked up. "Lisa, I've been waiting for you. Hoping you'd get here in your own time. I love you too. I've loved you since you showed up to that soccer game covered in coffee and looking terrified, but came anyway." They kissed then, soft and careful, both of them learning this new language together. When they pulled apart, Lisa was crying, but for the first time in years they were happy tears. "I'm still going to have hard days," she warned. "I'm still going to panic sometimes or need space or struggle with trust. I know, and I'm still going to be a mess sometimes. I'm still going to cry over Rebecca on her birthday. I'm still going to burn pancakes and forget important school events." Tom cupped her face gently. "But we'll figure it out together. That's what love is, right? Choosing each other even when it's messy. Is that what we're doing? Choosing each other? I chose you the day you collided with me in that hallway. I've been choosing you every day since." He smiled. "Now you're choosing me back." They talked late into the night, making plans and promises. Tom wanted to take things at whatever pace Lisa needed. She wanted to be more present in Mia's life. They agreed to keep communicating honestly, even when it was hard. They agreed that healing wasn't a destination, but a journey they'd take together. When Lisa finally went home that night, she felt different. The heaviness that had lived in her chest for 3 years was gone. In its place was something warm and hopeful. She wasn't naive enough to think everything would be perfect. She knew there would be struggles and setbacks. But she also knew she wasn't facing them alone anymore. 3 weeks later, Lisa officially met Tom's family at a Sunday dinner. They were warm and welcoming, clearly thrilled to see Tom happy again. Mia told everyone that Lisa was her almost mom, which made Lisa's eyes water and Tom's hand squeeze hers under the table. 6 months after that, Lisa moved some things into Tom's house. Not everything, not officially moving in, just testing the waters, seeing how it felt to build a life together. Her toothbrush by the sink, her favorite coffee mug in the cabinet, her artwork on the walls next to Mia's drawings. It felt like home. One Sunday morning, as they made pancakes together, Mia attempted a flower shape while Tom tried his usual star. Lisa made a heart, and this time it actually looked like one. "You're getting good at this," Tom said, kissing her temple. "I had good teachers." Mia looked up from her batter. "Are you happy, Lisa?" It was the same question the little girl had asked her months ago. But this time Lisa's answer was different. This time she meant it completely. "Yeah, sweetie, I'm really happy," and she was. Not because Tom had saved her or fixed her. Not because she'd found someone to complete her. She was happy because she'd done the hard work of healing herself. She'd faced her trauma, worked through her fears, and learned to trust again. Tom and Mia had been there, holding space for her journey. But the journey itself had been hers. She'd learned that being hurt and being broken were different things. She'd been hurt badly, but her capacity for love and joy had only been buried, never destroyed. She'd learned that real love didn't demand perfection. It made space for healing, honored boundaries, and celebrated growth. Most importantly, she'd learned to trust herself again. To trust her instincts, her feelings, her choices. She'd chosen to let herself be vulnerable. She'd chosen to risk loving again. She'd chosen happiness over safety. As they sat down to eat their misshapen pancakes, Mia chattering about her upcoming school project and Tom making terrible jokes, Lisa felt something she hadn't felt in years. Peace. Pure, simple peace. Her phone buzzed with a text from Jenny. "How's my favorite almost sister-in-law?" Lisa smiled at the presumptuous message. She and Tom hadn't talked about marriage, weren't rushing toward anything, but the future felt bright for the first time in forever. "Happy," she texted back. "Really, truly happy." Later that afternoon, as Lisa worked on a design project while Tom and Mia built a blanket fort in the living room, she caught herself smiling. Just smiling for no reason at all. The simple act of existing, of being part of this imperfect, chaotic, beautiful little family was enough. She thought about the woman she'd been 3 years ago. Hollow, numb, convinced she'd never feel whole again. If she could go back and tell that woman anything, it would be this. Healing is possible. Joy is possible. Love is possible. Not because someone comes along and fixes you, but because you do the hard work of fixing yourself. And when you're ready, when you've learned to trust yourself again, the right people will show up and make the world feel full of possibilities. Tom appeared in the doorway. "Mia demands you come see the fort. Apparently it's not complete without your artistic input." Lisa saved her work and stood up. Can't disappoint the artist. As she walked toward the living room, toward the sound of Mia's laughter and the sight of Tom's lopsided grin, Lisa realized something profound. She'd spent 3 years believing she was broken inside. But she'd been wrong. She'd just been waiting to bloom again, and now finally she was blooming, not because someone made her, but because she'd given herself permission. Permission to heal, to hope, to love, to be happy. She was blooming, and it was beautiful.